What is going on, everyone? Trust the Buzz here. If you're new to the channel, I make Charlotte Hornets content, so if that interests you, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. If you cannot tell by the thumbnail title of this video, in today's video, we're going to be talking about how the Charlotte Hornets front office coaching staff is changing. Now, we know it's changing. With new people, old people getting kicked out, that's of course change. But by changing, I mean look at the qualities of these people. The newest person, like the person who has probably, I wouldn't say the least amount of experience, but just new to it all, is Jeff Peterson himself. He's been around the league a long time, but operating this position, this is new to him. He hasn't done this before, not this position. Now, of course, different teams, sometimes task of like one title may fall to another title. You get, you know what I'm saying? But to be the president of basketball operations, that's new to him. He was an assistant GM in Brooklyn. So this is huge. Look at the people he hired. Got Charles Lee, an experienced coach, won a championship with the Milwaukee Bucks, is right now currently in the playoffs with the Boston Celtics. You got Josh Longstaff, who we just signed. We just signed to a deal, to a deal to be part of the staff. He's been coaching since 2010 and got to work with. And he's been player development for all his positions, all his stops except Chicago. I didn't see it listed. That doesn't mean he didn't do it. That doesn't mean he did do it. I just didn't see it. I didn't see all the other stops. New York, OKC, and Milwaukee. He had that title of player development. He didn't have that when I saw it, when I looked at it for the Bulls. But anyway, he's been coaching since 2010. He's been around Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Serge Ibaka, Carmelo Anthony in New York, not Thunder. Who else? Amari Stoudemire, J.R. Smith, Tim Hardaway Jr., Kobe White, DeMar DeRozan, Lonzo Ball. Like, he's been around so many, and I think I'm missing people. He's been around so many talented players, much experience. And from what I saw that year where DeMar DeRozan was going crazy, I think it was 2022 maybe. Maybe it was 2021, 2022. But when DeMar DeRozan was going crazy for the Bulls, and the Bulls were like the number one team in basketball, Josh Longstaff was given a lot of credit for designing plays for DeMar DeRozan during that time. So, I mean, what else more do you need to hear? Because DeMar DeRozan was almost like in MVP, early, of course, MVP conversations because how stupid he was going. So Josh Longstaff seems like a very incredible, at least offensive mind from at least what I know. You also, I can't remember the other coach's name. The one that's going to be the lead assistant for Charles Lee. I can't remember his name. I'm so sorry. Lamar Skeeter from the Utah Jazz. He's been around some incredible players as well. Most of his time has been with the Jazz, so it's been guys that were with the Jazz. But if you look at it, the Jazz developed a lot of talent. Like, the name is very top heavy. I think it's like Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell, Mike Conley. I really want to say that might be it as far as Gordon Hayward, like early Gordon Hayward, Derek Favors. Anyway. It's some heavy, like, top talent, but then you got guys like Royce O'Neal and Joe Ingles, Grayson Allen, those type of guys. But if you look at like the development of those players, because he also had that role in Utah, he developed those guys were not supposed to be what they were. I posted it on social media and someone laughed and was like, "Look at these names." And I was like, go look at where those guys were drafted and look where they are now. Joe Ingles has been in the league for a while, and a lot of teams who are contending have looked to get Joe Ingles to help them to get over the hump. Ever since he left Utah after that injury, I believe. Same way with I'm sorry I'm saying a lot, but I'm trying to think of all these names. Royce O'Neal, he wasn't supposed to be who he is, and he's an incredible playoff performer, especially when it comes to hitting threes, which is something, I mean, I know he's not in the playoffs now, but which is something that everybody needs. Georges Niang, I know he's not the greatest player of all time, but he definitely wasn't supposed to be what he is now. Grayson Allen, as much as I don't like Duke, or I hated Grayson Allen when he was there, he just signed a $70 million contract with the Phoenix Suns and shot like 40-something% from three this year. 40, like high 40. I'm not saying like 41. Like it was like 45, 46. I don't know. I don't want to go too high because it might sound crazy, but it was crazy. But yeah, we just having a very experienced staff. And then this morning we hired this woman named Shelly. I know her first name is Shelly, and I know her last name is is Weston, but I forgot her middle. I forgot her because her last name's hyphenated. Either way, looking her up and just kind of reading what I can, she's been a very experienced businesswoman. Specifically, been a top executive with the Cleveland Cavaliers. So, and she's been doing that for 12 years. The fact that a person who's in charge of these hires is the least experienced person tells you what kind of leader I think Jeff Peterson is, what kind of organization we're finally starting to run, because he's the guy making the decisions. The owners said themselves, we're going to approve everything. It's got to come through us, like final approval, but he's putting in the work. He just lays it out, gives us the PowerPoint, whatever, and then give our final stamp of approval. That's all we're here for. We evaluate, we're going to pitch names, but it's ultimately up to him. Jeff Peterson did, to me, it's just fascinating because with that kind of power, he was like, you know what? I'm not going to hire. I mean, most of these people have been his buddies or people he's familiar with, but I'm not going to hire these guys who, are my buddy but are new. I'm not going to hire a bunch of people who have just started or kind of in the same position as me. No, I'm hiring people. I've probably had experience, 6, 7 years. I'm hiring people with 10 years of experience, 12 years of experience, 13, 15 years of experience. And I'm going to take information from all of them and help me become better at my job because I'm not the smartest person in the room. Anytime I need to talk about something to any department, I'm not going to be the smartest person in the room. When I need to go talk business with Miss Shelley, she knows way more than I do because she's 12 years of experience as a top executive for an NBA franchise that has seen LeBron James come through, who has seen the dark days, not before LeBron, but before he came back. The dark days before LeBron James, getting LeBron James, turning that team into a championship team, turning that team into a contending team, even though we know how that kind of gets, specifically with LeBron James and his team structures. But we've seen those days. Then we saw come back down. We had to get Darius Garland. We had to get trade for Jarrett Allen. We had to get Evan Mobley, Isaac Okoro. We had to get these guys, build them back up, get the assets, trade for Donovan Mitchell, bring him over, fail the first year, and then now they're kind of getting in the groove of things, and they play the Celtics tonight down 2-1. I know that was a lot, but that's what I'm saying. She has tremendous experience, way more than Jeff Peterson has, especially top notch. I didn't even bother to look what she did before. So maybe I should look that up. Maybe she was some executive somewhere else. I don't know, but that's just highly impressive. Like I said, Charles Lee, who has seen the Milwaukee Bucks go on to win a championship, and then go on to the Celtics, who is the rival of the Milwaukee Bucks. They have such an abundance of talent and just so many different players. He's able to see that. Granted, it's for 1 year, but he's been there. He has seen it. He's seen what it takes in two different types of teams. He has the experience with championship molded teams, because I think right now, if Denver or Minnesota don't make the championship or don't make the finals, I don't see who stops Boston. I mean, outside of Boston. Boston may stop themselves, but I think there's only two teams that can beat Boston right now, and they're playing each other. So Charles Lee has seen what it takes to get where the Celtics are, to get where the Milwaukee Bucks were, and then also the previous Atlanta team, where that team wasn't just a superstar. They had a bunch of guys come together and become that great team that they were. Now, honestly, the only thing that was stopping them was LeBron James in the East. That was it. So, yeah, we just have extreme experience. I already talked about Josh Longstaff, who we got today, and that kind of brought on the idea of this video. But we have signed a lot of people who are just very, very experienced, and I think that's huge. I can already tell that Jeff Peterson doesn't have an ego. I can already tell he wants to learn to get better. I can already tell that he just has no problem not being the smartest person in the room, and I can already tell that he really wants what's best for Charlotte. I can already see it. It's just up to these people to do their job. But as far as structure, when it comes to our front office, I think it's just a lot better. I think it's just way better. And yeah, I'm very happy with what I'm seeing. I do wonder about the GM thing because, you know, early reports were saying that the Hornets were looking to, before we even hired Jeff Peterson, that the Hornets were looking to get a basketball of operations and a GM, just to, like, checks and balances. They all do the same thing. And I haven't heard about that since, specifically since the Jeff Peterson hire. So maybe they were kind of blown away and was like, oh, this guy really knows what he's doing, or they're still taking their time. I say that because there was talks earlier in the season that Mike Gansey, I believe is his name, for the Cleveland Cavaliers, the current GM for the Cleveland Cavaliers, may not be coming back with the team, especially depending on how this series goes with the Boston Celtics. And if that's being said, because the team could be going in another direction, if that being said, will he be okay with making a lateral move? Because it's not like he's being, most of the time when people get like raises, unless they just have like this insane experience, they get the only time they get like promotions, they don't get promotions when they're fired or let go or don't resign. They usually only get promotions when they're poached, like some other team, takes them away from, their current team. So with him being let go or maybe deciding to part ways, however they're going to put it, I wonder if he's going to be willing to make a lateral move to the Charlotte Hornets, where he'll be once again working with Miss Shelley. So I don't know. I'm just excited, and I just want to talk about it, give a rant. This video will probably come out, today is Monday, so this video will probably come out Tuesday, and then yesterday you would have seen my top 3 draft prospects, and then of course there's going to be so much draft stuff to talk about. And as I said in that video, I'm going to be sitting here to give you the information. I'm going to tell you who I like, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you have to like who I like. I'm going to give you the information to make your own decision. If we agree, we agree. If we don't, we don't. We're all Hornets fans. We all want the same thing. We may just feel different ways about it. I'm 100% okay with that. But anyway, thank you so much for watching the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.